Benjamin was able to make more than $120,000 in the first 7 days of launching his client's campaign. And he made more than 30K in take-home profit within the first week from that. Because Benjamin is a previous client slash partner of mine, I shot a quick video with him, which is about 20 minutes long, where we walk through his specific takeaways and what he was specifically doing to be able to achieve those results. We're not going to talk about working harder or doing more volume. These are actual industry insights and data that we're getting from him firsthand, and so it's a very valuable conversation. I would advise you that you watch through the entire video, and if you have any questions, put them down below in the comment section, and I'll see you at the end. Welcome to the video. We want to talk about a very interesting story today, which is what you did last year with one of the clients slash partners that you're working with, Benjamin. So feel free to just go ahead and share a bit about the story there. Primarily in the first place, before we dive into that, the results that you guys have been able to accomplish and just how all of that worked. So we're going to have like a 15 to 20 minute quick conversation about the main takeaways and all of that good stuff. Shoot forward.
Yeah. What's up? My name is Benjamin and I am working with an attorney slash kind of like service-based business inside the US. And even though it's like highly regulated because we have like a lot of laws and we cannot say a lot of things, blah, blah, blah. But we still managed to go from 0 to 178K in 30 days or so, just by kind of like selling mostly like info products and also like some high ticket services on the back end.
Nice. Love that. So you went from 0 to $178,000 within 30 days, and it's a service-based business in the attorney space, you could say.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we pretty much made 120K in 7 days whenever we just like first launched the offer. And after that, it was kind of like mostly like upsells. And also like we also got some people like rolling in from the public.
Love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, so you went 0 to 120K in 7 days with that offer. Is it a high ticket offer, or what was the structure like that you guys were selling?
No, so it's kind of like a low ticket offer to kind of like upselling. So we started at $47 for the first course. We had like an order bump for $27. We had like a really great take rate on that. And then we had upsell number 1, which was like 147 or something like that. And if for some reason people have not bought that, then we have for them like a downsell for the kind of like the same program without the bonuses for cheaper. And if people bought that, or even if they haven't bought it, we also introduced the second upsell, which was kind of like the highest ticket inside the courses. That was $297. And after that, if they didn't want that, we had a downsell. So it was like a really complex funnel, I could say, and with like a lot of steps. But long story short, when I checked the numbers and compared that to the industry average, we pretty much had more than twice the average conversion rate.
I love that. So you basically, what you're saying is you went from 0 to 120K in 7 days with a low ticket offer.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. So for me personally, I mean, you know this, I'm a big fan of high ticket when it comes to most types of products. I know that with this specific offer, you were trying high ticket and you saw it didn't really convert that well, didn't fit the audience, whatever that may be, and you decided to roll with that type of funnel. Why do you feel that worked so much better with this specific type of client? Like, why is he the type of client that does so well with low ticket?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, high ticket is really great. I do like that because like you just like hop on the sales call and you just like sell like, I don't know, like an AK package. So it's way better than just going with the low ticket. But sometimes low ticket is really great when the audience need more education and also kind of like just to build that relationship up. Because for example, if I'm like a cold customer and I will get into a pipeline, maybe I'm interested, but I just don't want to spend like, for example, $5,000 on a coaching program or even more. I want something for less, something just like teaching me something, getting me from A to point B, you know? So for him, it worked really well because the audience wanted to educate themselves first, so they had a better chance of making better decisions in the future, which resulted for them spending less money on that high ticket service. So it's pretty much you make money with the courses with the low ticket, but you can also upsell them into the high ticket services because we frame the entire thing in a way that we position that only we are the best in this space, and that's why we were able to convert a lot of those people who came from the low ticket offer into the high ticket.
Love that. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. What would you say were your main takeaways from that client growth and how rapid it happened as well for your own company and generally speaking, just how you have to behave when you deliver for a client that you have revenue share in and generally speaking within this industry, like how did your view on growing service-based companies change based on this specific story?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to actually working with clients and how you should act and behave and just like show up, well, if you get a percentage of their revenue, then you shouldn't be like just like a service provider that, just like tell me what should I do and I will just like do it. No, you are pretty much like a partner in the business and you need to come up with the ideas. Like there's like the face of the brand and then you are the brain behind it. Okay, so we should do this, we should do that. And don't get me wrong, I have not like came up with like a new plan. I have not came up with like a completely new funnel whatsoever. I just like did what worked before for other people. So pretty much just like replicated the same thing and I just like implemented into that business. And because I got like 30% revenue share, so out of that month that we made for him like 178K, I made like $42,000 or something like that. And then back then that was just me. So no one else. So making that kind of like money, it changed a lot of things like in my life as well, but also like in the perspective of how I look at businesses whenever I work with them, how to pretty much like scale them. And also when you get like a revenue share in their business and you make more and more and more and more, you kind of like start to realize that, when I was just like offering services, I just like didn't care that much about it. But it's kind of like it started to become like my own baby, you know? So the more it grows, the better it becomes.
You said a couple different things there. You said it becomes like your own baby, basically. You said that you noticed that as a service provider, without taking revenue share, you're not really incentivized to really go above and beyond and make sure everything goes well because you're just there to do your work rather than proactively coming up with ideas and trying to move the company on a daily basis just because you're incentivized to do so. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. I think that's a big change that I also implemented within my company about a year, 1.5 years ago, where we started taking revenue shares because at the end of the day, it's just way better to work like that, man. Like no matter at what price
Jeez.
point someone comes into your funnel, at some point there's going to be a partnership happening when they grow past a certain revenue level. And in those cases, it's like you can really set up the client relationship with everybody for the long term, right? And you can
Yep.
say, hey, the goal is not to work together for 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. The goal is to work together for years or maybe even decades, because that's what makes you the most amount of money as well as us. And we want to work with people that provide real value, do really well, and are good people as well that
Yeah.
want to help. So I definitely resonate with that. Very interesting. So for you, it's like, would you say that's the biggest takeaway, or would you say that there's other ones as well that really hit home for you then?
The biggest takeaway, I mean, I have a lot of takeaways like just by working with him, like on a client based takeaway, I would say relationship is the most important thing that you need to develop by working with another business owner, because if the relationship is not there, then they can fire you anytime, even if you have like revenue share with them and equity whatsoever. So the relationship is really important. So whenever we have a call, we like just like hop on there, talk about life, what is up, and just like joke with each other. But when it comes to business, then we talk about business. Okay, we should do this, we should do that. But on actually owning a company and running a company and now like kind of like starting to hire other people to do so we can just like get more clients and help them, the biggest thing that I have realized that you don't need to be smart to actually make money. You don't need to be smart to actually make it happen. You just need to show up consistently and just like put in the work. Sometimes just like put your head down and just like do it, because in most of the cases, not other people are better than you. You are just like holding yourself back from actually becoming the best version of yourself, making a lot of money, having a better life, and then you can just like kind of like guess the rest.
I got you. So you had like personal takeaways from it as well when it comes to like personal development.
Yeah. And also by working with a client and making that amount of money like in a really short amount of time, it kind of like showed me that the biggest thing that you can do whenever like we start working with a new business, if they already have like a current follower like list or even current like customers, we will survey them and ask for their opinion, like why they have bought in the first place, what do they want to get from us, what else they would buy from us. So instead of just like aiming and shooting in the dark by coming up with like something completely new that they might not even want, then you just like survey them, ask like really specific questions. You can also give them like some credit for the next purchase that they will make, and that way you can develop a program that is not only great but also makes a lot of money.
I got you. So you would say that client feedback is one of the biggest
Yeah.
leverage points that you pulled.
Yeah, client feedback and also satisfaction at the same time. And I also realize whenever you are pushing that, a lot of people kind of like call it like direct response marketing. A lot of people call it like guerrilla marketing, or cannot even pronounce it. It's started to not really work nowadays because everyone is just like kind of like doing the same thing. So you need to tone your marketing down a little bit and kind of like position yourself as the authority in that niche and actually help people even before they will come into your pipeline. So it's not like it was like a couple of years ago when I just like started that, oh, you just like put up a sales page and out of the nowhere, if you had like some followers, they just like started to buy your programs or book calls. No, right now it starts with the front end. Like it can be social media, long form YouTube. So you need to have them first before they even become a client.
100%. So what you're saying is you also saw, based on you being in the market for a couple of years, that the buying behavior changed massively in that direction, where people stopped buying just directly. People needed a lot more nurturing. They needed a lot more
Touch point.
being built and established, basically.
Yeah, like way more touch points, I could say.
I actually have a question for you there, because you said that client feedback was the biggest thing, right? For example, with your client, obviously when you launched the offer, you didn't really have a lot of clients that you could go to and then ask feedback from. How did you actually get the feedback from the marketplace before you launched it, so you understood what specific angles to hit on within the marketing?
Yeah, so before we had that like really big successful launch, we were trying to make it work with just high tickets. So it was like the typical VSL to book a call funnel, which was working really well because when we launched it, we filled the closers calendar fully for an entire 2 or 3 weeks. So everything was working. And the other thing is that we could only work with 3 states, but we still managed to fill that calendar. So what we kind of like realized that when people were hopping on the calls and they were kind of like saying that, yeah, this is kind of like pricey because it was like more premium. But sometimes in most of the cases, they also said that, oh yeah, this is completely cool, but I still don't understand how this will help me. So we kind of like took that market feedback and we also did some market research. I hopped on a call with the business owner, with the client. We came up with a plan. We kind of like saw, okay, like what are the main objections? What are the main problems in this niche? And how we can come up with like a solution that will not only make us money, also have them to warm them up and also educate them, and then later on they can become like a high ticket client. And that's how we develop the low ticket to kind of like high ticket funnel.
Love that. That's amazing. Okay, so basically what you're saying is like the main thing that you implemented to be able to grow it that fast was just genuinely taking time and looking at what do people really want? Like, not what do we want, not what, do we think they want? It's like, no, what do they tell us they
Yeah.
would prefer and want? And just create that, market that, and sell that. That's like the
Yeah.
biggest takeaway.
Yeah, pretty much. And also like the other thing that no one else have done this before in that niche. So he's an estate planning attorney. Yes, you can find some like estate planning courses out there, but not this complex. So pretty much we were the first ones who launched a funnel kind of like this complex, I could say, in that niche in the US.
Would you say that you had some good first mover advantage through that?
I would say yes, and I would say no at the same time. Yes, because we made a lot of money. No, because we could have made a lot of things like way faster, easier, and better.
Interesting. Okay. I have a different question. I want to jump to a different topic with you here. I'm personally a big believer in relationship building with your clients, as well as you said earlier, because at the end of the day, and I'm saying this to every single person that we start working with now, which is, when we're starting out, we're going to be working together, done with you, over time, done for you with revenue shares. And then at the end, not yet, but in the future, in the coming years, in a private equity way. I personally think that you have to talk basically every day to develop a good relationship and keep it up as well.
Yeah.
How often do you communicate with your clients?
Well, you just said it, on a daily basis.
And how do you do that? Do you do text, call? Do you have like meetings scheduled?
Yeah, I mean, in most of the cases, when we have calls on a weekly basis, at least once. Whenever we need more, then we will have more. But mostly we communicate through WhatsApp. I just like to use WhatsApp. I don't really like Slack, to be honest with you. It's just like too corporate-y, if I could say. And I just like to text them on WhatsApp, and we communicate on a daily basis. Is one, because I have like daily news for him or for the client that we are working with, and whenever we need something, like we just like send like a question, he will reply back to us, and yeah, we are good to go.
Nice. I love that. That's amazing. It's an interesting story that you had so far with that offer. It's definitely a different one than, the regular ones that you would find in like the make money online market or
Yeah.
these types of industries. Do you feel like you enjoy working in a niche that's so specific and actually pretty untapped within our industry?
When you do something for the first time and for some reason you nail it, it will give you like a really great feeling that, oh, maybe this was because of me, maybe this was because of the research that I have done, maybe because this was of luck. You never know. And to be honest with you, the more complex the niche is, the more untapped is, the more I like it, because when it comes to like make money online, like that niche, pretty much everyone is doing the same thing. Like they are just like copying each other. Someone will come up with like a new idea, someone will come up with like a new offer, just like give a new name to it, and that's really it. I don't really want to say names because I have some names in mind, of course, like the top dogs, but it's nothing new there. Like everyone is just like copying the top dogs and trying to take like a small market share.
You know what I find so interesting about that, bro? I completely resonate with what you just said there. I actually spoke about that yesterday with my team. I'm very passionate about this because when you look at content, for example, you can obviously see what type of content is being pushed out by whom. And there's a couple of guys in the space, like one specific guy who's a buddy of mine as well, or connection, you could also say, who I know personally, who's pretty big in the industry. And he is pushing out a certain type of content, right? He started with it like a couple of weeks ago. And because he has a big following, bro, now you see like the army of people copying that style. And when I see that, I'm like, okay, maybe because it's a cool style, maybe because it's aesthetically pleasing, short term, you get more views.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, all you're doing is making that guy who invented it way more money because everybody who sees your video thinks about him. When I see your video, I think about him. I don't think about you. And I don't remember you as a pioneer. I remember you as someone who copies other people. And so I think being original with your ideas and sticking through it and making it successful is a skill set 0.0001% of people in our industry have. Like very few. And the reason for it is because it takes a lot of learning to have enough information to the point where you can create unique new ideas that match what the marketplace doesn't have yet. Like, it's a hard thing to do, and I think that's why no one does it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to come up with like new things. It's like you need to develop and came up with like, for example, a new weapon for the war. Like there are like thousands of weapons already, but you need to come up with a new one, with like a more modern one. So it's really hard. It takes a lot of brain, I would say, brain neurons for it. But here's the thing. Maybe you will try it like, I don't know, 9 times and you will fail, but maybe for the 10th time you will succeed extremely well and you will become rich instantly. So it's just like with the startups, with companies, like they are trying and failing, but then they will have an idea that works extremely well, and just like that, in a couple of years they are already like a multi-billion-dollar company.
I completely agree, bro. And that's the interesting thing about business and entrepreneurship in general. It's this constant pursuit of trying to create this vision that you have for your business, your team, and yourself and your life as well. And you fail every day, like 9 out of 10
Yeah.
days. It just feels like everybody slaps you, like from left to right. But then there's one win every 10 days that knocks everything else out of the park.
Pretty
And
much.
so it's interesting because that's also kind of like is it called dichotomy? Like it's two opposites, polarity, polar opposites, whatever. It's like on the one hand, that's the reality of what business is. But on the other hand, you have to feel like every single day you succeed big time, because that's how you build momentum. And I think it being this way, but you feeling this way and actually believing it is this way is one of the hardest things to do. But yeah, it's interesting takeaways you have from it. I know that you're gonna crush it this year. I'm completely convinced in that. And yeah, I appreciate you for sharing your thoughts and your value and your takeaways.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a second round of interview sometimes.
Bro, let's do that. Like a couple of months from now, let's run it back, and then you can, for example, brag about your first 100K month.